Once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second free seminar of our seminar series. So last time we conducted an year seminar, and it was a very big hit seminar. So welcome to the immunity seminar today, and we will be covering up to internal defenses in innate immunity. We will be covering up to we won't be starting inflammatory responses, but we will be covering up to antimicrobial proteins. Okay. So if you guys have any doubts during the session, please send the message to the host. Okay. So don't send the message to the account that I'm speaking. Please drop your messages to the host. Okay. So without further delay, let's get started. So if anybody is there to join, please ask your friends to join as soon as possible. Fine. So so first of all, I want to tell you about how the seminar is going to be conducted. So as planned, like in the previous seminar, we will be explaining you in detail explanation of what is immunity and the classifications and everything. So first of all, I'll be giving you an overall idea about the entire lesson, and then I will be explaining you innate immunity up to the internal defenses, under internal defenses up to antimicrobial proteins. I will be explaining you, because unfortunately you won't be able to do inflammatory responses today, as the content under inflammatory response is quite huge, so we won't be able to complete it today. So that's what we'll be doing, and after that we will be writing the essay. So we'll be writing an essay like in the last seminar. We'll be writing an essay in live, so be prepared for it. Focus carefully, and you will have to write the essay and you will have to correct it. Fine. And then finally we will be moving on to the question discussion. So we'll be discussing the questions. So I'll be giving you timing to do the questions. And I hope you all received the question tute. It has been uploaded in the WhatsApp group, as well as it was forwarded into the Telegram channel. So you can attempt the questions while I'm giving you time, and then we can discuss the questions together. So that is the overall plan of immunity. Meanwhile, while we are doing the questions, if you have any doubts or if you need any advices or something, you can ask me during those time. Okay. So now we'll get started. So immunity. When you take immunity, so this is a very important section in Unit 5. So this is not a lesson. This is a topic in Unit 5. This is a system which we are learning. So in immunity, first of all, you will have to learn the definition. So you have a short introduction. So you have to learn the definition and introduction. And then after that, we have to learn about the classification of immunity. So immunity means basically it is defense. So in basic, in simpler terms, if I have to tell you what immunity is, it is the defense system of your body. So the immune responses and everything that is fighting against the invasions that are coming inside your body. So that is the immune system. So this is about immunity. So in immunity, you're going to have innate immunity, acquired immunity. So there are two types of immunity, namely innate immunity and acquired immunity. Okay, so under innate immunity, we will be learning external or barrier defenses and internal defenses. And then we have acquired immunity. Don't worry, just know these terms for now. So I'm just giving you an overall idea of the lesson before we move on. So first of all, you have to know what you're studying, right? You have to have a full idea about what you're studying, and then you can break down the things into simpler terms and you can study. So if you don't know the depth of how much you're going to study, so you will be wondering when is this going to end. So when I'm giving you an overall idea like this, you will be easily able to track down the lesson and you will be able to finish it off properly and completely. Okay. So yeah, under innate immunity, you will be having external or barrier defense, and you will be having the internal defense. Under acquired immunity or adaptive immunity, you will be having cell-mediated immune response and humoral mediated immune response, or you say antibody mediated immune response. Okay, so these are the two types present under acquired immunity. And then you will have to learn about something called as role of T and B lymphocytes in acquired immunity. So you'll be having certain cells called T and B lymphocytes. So they will be functioning in the acquired immunity. You will have to know the process of how they are functioning. Okay, and then you will be having another classification of immunity. So this is basically the immune response that is going to occur inside your body. Now let's just say, like, you have heard about vaccination. So apart from the immune responses taking place in your body, you might have heard about vaccinations, antibiotics, and everything. So you're taking that immune dose. You're taking it from outside. Yeah. So those are also kind of immunity that is going to give a backup to your immune system. So that kind of immunity is going to be classified into two, as active immunity and passive immunity. Okay, so under active immunity, you will be having naturally acquired active immunity and artificially acquired active immunity. And under passive immunity, you will be having naturally acquired passive immunity and artificially acquired passive immunity. And then finally, we have three separate topics to learn, namely allergies, autoimmune diseases, and immunodeficiencies. So all of these are related to immunity. So these diseases basically are something very common topics which come after every system, right? So these are the two diseases, and this allergy is not basically a disease, but it is also like a complication. So finally, we will be learning about these three. So this is the overall idea of the lesson. So you're not going to learn, you're not going to learn without the knowledge of when it is going to complete. So you have a basic idea, you have a basic plan. So we have to have a foundation before moving on to anything. So this is the foundation, and based on this, you can track down each and every topic that we are completing, and ultimately it will be very easy for you to study as well. Fine. So now we'll move on to the lesson. Okay, so first of all, we have to understand the definition. So I told you first definition. So what is immunity? Why do we need immunity? Immunity means we are being resistant. Okay, so it is a condition. It is a state where you're being resistant to something. So you will be resistant to injuries, invading pathogens, and foreign substances. So what are the three things? So when I'm explaining, when I'm repeating something, so I won't be saying a particular topic a particular content only once. So I won't be saying only once. I'll be repeating it at least 2 or 3 times. I will be repeating them. So the reason why I'm repeating them is because you can repeat after me and you can memorize within the class itself. So you don't have to put extra work after the class to sit and memorize. So when I'm repeating, please listen carefully, be attentive, and don't think that, okay, I have understood the first time, so I don't have to listen the second or third time. No, there's a psychology behind it. So when I'm repeating, repeat after me, sit attentively and repeat after me. Okay, so especially the definition. So what is immunity? Immunity is a state, or it is like a condition where you're being resistant to something. So what are you being resistant to? You're being resistant to 3 things. So what are they? You're being resistant to injuries, invading pathogens, and foreign substances. Now you might think, okay, injury is fine, but invading pathogens, foreign substances, they all look the same, right? No, they're not the same. So let's see what's the difference between invading pathogens and foreign substances. Invading pathogens means like external organisms, so organisms which can come into your body and they can interrupt your body functions, like bacteria, virus, fungi. So these are pathogens. So these are some microorganisms. Okay. But foreign substances means they are chemicals. They are basically chemicals. They are not organisms. They are chemicals. They are chemical components of certain parts. Like for example, if you take pollen grains. So in pollen grains, certain people are allergic to pollen grains. So we'll be studying that under allergies. So certain people, they are allergic to pollen grains. So you will have some chemical components present in pollen grains, and those will be identified as a foreign substance to your body, and your immune system will be fighting against it. Okay. So chemical components of what? Chemical components of pollen grains, incompatible blood cells. Okay, you might have learned this in circulatory system, in blood grouping under rhesus system and all. You might have learned. So what will happen if there is an incompatible blood cell coming into your body? So if you have an incompatible blood cell coming into your body will create an immune response, and those blood cells will be agglutinated. You might have learned that in circulatory system. So those incompatible blood cells will be triggering an immune response. So that is also considered as a foreign substance. Now, you don't have that blood cell inside your body. So if you have another blood cell, that is going to be a foreign substance during blood transfusion. Okay, and you have transplanted tissues. Transplanted tissues means, now when you're having like surgeries and all, during surgeries, you take tissues, you take organs from other people, right? Donors. So when you have donors, when you have tissues or something which are transplanted from people who are not compatible to your body, those tissues and organs are not compatible for your body, so there will be chemicals secreted, there will be chemical components present in those tissues and organs. So they are going to act as a foreign substance to your body. So remember, not all of them, but if they are not compatible to your body, so if they are not compatible, they are going to be foreign to your body. So they are coming under foreign substances. So remember, invading pathogens and foreign substances, they are not the same. Invading pathogens means agents which cause infectious diseases, microorganisms, basically microorganisms and agents which can cause diseases within your body. Example, bacteria, virus, fungi. Okay, and who are foreign substances? Foreign substances means they are chemical components of certain other. They're not basically organisms. They are also structures. Okay, so they are chemical components of certain structures of other organisms. For example, pollen grains. So you get this from plants. Incompatible cells, you derive it from other people, from other human beings. Transplanted tissue, again, this is also derived from another living body. So these substances, which are chemical components of pollen grains, incompatible cells, transplanted tissues, are considered to be foreign substances. Okay, so what is immunity? You're being resistant to all of these. Your body is being resistant to all of this. That is known as immunity. And through what? Through what are you being resistant to? There are specific defense mechanisms present in your body. So you have so much of defense mechanism. It's so interesting when you learn. So these defense mechanisms will be fighting against all of these injuries, invading pathogens, foreign substances, in order to keep you alive and living like you are now. Okay. So what is immunity again? What's the definition? The it is state, it is the condition and foreign substances through defense. Let's move on to, first of all, let's say you have a bacteria. This bacteria is trying to enter your body. So first of all, there will be an external barrier. Okay, so your skin or your outer covering is going to act as the external barrier. So this will somehow try to this bacteria not to enter the body. So it will somehow try to prevent as much as possible. The external or barrier defenses will have so many mechanisms and they will try to prevent the entry of bacteria. But this bacteria is really, really smart. So somehow it enters. Then what will happen? Once it enters the body, immediately it will be facing something known as the internal defense. So in internal defense also, you will be having several types of internal defenses. So this bacteria will be facing some internal defense cells. Okay, some cells which are involving in internal defense will be attacking this bacteria once it surpasses the external or barrier defense. But then again, this bacteria is really smart. It somehow fights off against this internal defense, and now it has entered to your body completely. Okay, so once it has entered into your body will be doing something known as the adaptive immune response. So it will be creating an adaptive immune response, which is actually known as the specific immune response. So here what will happen is there will be something called as T and B lymphocytes, which will be specifically targeting this particular bacteria, and then they can't escape. This bacteria cannot escape from the adaptive immunity. So this is the flow. So first of all, just remember the flow. What are we going to do? We are going to learn about the outermost one, the outermost immunity. So all of these are coming under immunity. So external barrier defense. So this is a part of your immune system. Internal defense. This is again the second part of your immune system. And then finally, if the bacteria surpasses the internal defense only, your adaptive immunity is going to work. So this is like the largest, the most strongest army. So just imagine you're trying to enter a particular zone. So first of all, you will be having the external or barrier defense, which is the first round of troops. And then once the bacteria surpasses them, it will be encountering the second line. And if the bacteria surpasses that as well, then it will be having a very specified a very specified immune response, where your adaptive immunity is going to work against the bacteria. So this is the flow. First of all, it is going to encounter the external or barrier defense. Then it will be encountering the internal defense if it surpasses the external or barrier defense, and if it surpasses the internal defense. So these two are coming under innate immunity. And if it surpasses the internal defense, it will be encountering the adaptive immunity. Okay. So now let's move on to what is innate immunity. Okay. So innate immunity. So again, I'm saying you, if you guys have any doubts, please send a message to the host. Okay, don't send the message to the account that I'm speaking. Please drop a message to the host. Fine. So now we have to know what is innate immunity. So innate immunity means, again, to understand the definition, break the terms. Now, these definitions in immunity are really, really long. The only way to understand is break the terms, break the entire definition into smaller terms, and then try to interpret it one by one. Then it will become much more easier. So if you read everything, innate immunity is the ability to resist diseases, damages in the body, it will be such a headache. So finally, when you finish reading the sentence, you will be wondering what was I even reading. So that's going to be difficult. So break it into terms, break it into simpler terms, break it into simpler points, and then try to comprehend and remember the definition. So what is innate immunity? Innate immunity means, again, this is also resistance. Okay, so everything in immunity is resistance against the foreign substances. So this is basically the ability to resist damage or diseases. So you're going to resist the damage. Damage means the injuries, or diseases means the ones which are caused by the pathogens and foreign substances. Okay, so how are they going to resist them? There will be some inherent body defense. That means you will be having some body defenses which are already present in your body. Now, for example, when you were learning plant lesson, you might have learned about stress. So under stress, you might have had some pre-existing chemical and biological defense mechanisms, and then you will be having some induced ones. So similarly, here also in us, in human beings also, you will be having certain body defense mechanisms which are present in your body, like it's already present. So you're not going to induce them. You're not going to create them when the pathogen enters your body. So it's already present, and that is known as inherent body defense. So they are already existing. They are pre-existing in your body. And what are they going to do? These inherent body defenses are going to provide a rapid response. Oh, okay. The reason why they are saying that rapid response and against a broad range of pathogens and foreign substances is because when you will be learning acquired immunity or adaptive immunity, adaptive immunity is not really a very rapid response. Okay, so it's going to be very specific. So here you're saying, see, innate immunity, it's going to provide a defense against all kinds of foreign substances and pathogens. So irrespective of what kind it is, irrespective of whether it is bacteria, whether it is virus, whether it's fungi, it doesn't matter. Whatever comes on its way, it's going to provide defense against it. But when you consider acquired immunity, that is not the case. In acquired immunity, you will be only considering a specific pathogen. For example, fungi. So you will be fighting that particular acquired immunity, the T and B lymphocytes will be fighting only against that fungi. Okay, so if you have virus and if the T and B lymphocytes are produced against the virus, then it won't be fighting against the fungi. It will be fighting only against the virus. Okay, but when you consider innate immunity, don't worry, we'll be learning that in detail later. But just to understand why they are saying broad range of pathogens and why is it a rapid response, I was connecting the dots. Okay, so in innate immunity, are you going to provide a rapid response or are you going to provide a slow response? You are going to provide a rapid response. So is this against a specific kind of pathogen, or is it against a broad range of pathogen? You're going to provide a rapid response against a broad range of pathogens and foreign substances. So remember to mention foreign substances as well. Okay, so you know, right? So pathogens means they will include those microorganisms which are trying to enter your body. And foreign substances will be the chemical components of certain structures. So don't forget to separately mention them. Okay, so don't think that pathogens and foreign substances are same. So that is why I clear that confusion at the beginning itself, so you don't miss out these points when writing the definitions. Okay, so again, what is innate immunity? Repeat after me. Okay, when I'm repeating the definitions, repeat after me, then memorize it in the class itself. So what is innate immunity again? It is the ability to resist. So immunity itself means you're going to resist against something. Resist against what? Resist against damage or disease, injuries or disease. By how are you going to resist them? By using inherent body defense. You will be having body defense mechanisms which are incorporated in your body like now itself. So you'll be having some pre-existing body defense mechanisms. Using those inherent body defense mechanisms, you're going to provide a rapid response against a broad range of pathogens and foreign substances. This is known as innate immunity. So when you look at the resource book, they have mentioned you so many points, so many features of innate immunity. But I won't be telling you now, because now if we study the features now and if we study the features of acquired immunity later, you might forget the features of innate immunity. You won't be able to easily remember. Okay, so but if you can now, if you can like study that later after finishing acquired immunity, if you can compare the features of innate immunity and acquired immunity after finishing acquired immunity, you'll be easily able to differentiate and remember. Okay, so I'll be teaching the features together along with acquired immunity. For now, just remember innate immunity. Under innate immunity, you will have to remember the definition for now, and you will have to remember the classifications. Okay, so I got a message saying I have disabled the chat. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, now can you all send messages? Really sorry about that. Are you all able to send messages now? Yes. Okay. Sorry about that. Fine. That's why I was wondering. We all were very silent. Okay. So again, innate immunity. So repeat after me one last time. So what is innate immunity? Innate immunity means you're going to resist against damage or diseases using what? Using inherent body defense mechanisms. And is it a rapid response or is it a slow response? By providing a rapid response against whom? Against broad range, not a specific range, a broad range of pathogens and foreign substances. This is known as innate immunity. So as I was saying, we will learn the features together along with acquired immunity. But one thing you have to remember, innate immunity is present in both vertebrates as well as invertebrates. Okay, in both vertebrates as well as invertebrates, you will be having innate immunity. But when you consider acquired immunity, when we learn acquired immunity later, you will figure out that acquired immunity is present only in vertebrates. So those classifications, those differences and all, we'll be learning clearly later. So at that time, we'll be having a proper knowledge of this entire lesson. So if I say you all the features now itself, you might get confused. So just remember, innate immunity, you're not going to provide a specific response. You're going to provide a response against a broad range of pathogen. So you'll just fight against it. So you don't know whether it's going to be a bacteria. You don't know whether it's going to be a virus, anything. You'll just fight back. So that is known as innate immunity. Okay. So then under innate immunity, there are two types of innate immunity. You have external or barrier defense and you have internal defense. So again, what are the two types of innate immunity? External or barrier defense and internal defense. So I showed you, right? I showed you. First of all, you will have external barrier defense. If the bacteria surpasses, if the pathogen surpasses it, then it will encounter internal defense. Yes, I will be providing the recording. It will be uploaded in YouTube, so don't worry. I will be uploading the recording in YouTube. Okay, fine. So now let's learn about external barrier defense. So first of all, under external barrier defense also, you have to know what happens in external barrier defense. So see, when you have a bacteria or a pathogen trying to enter, external barrier defenses are going to discourage the pathogen from penetrating the body. So has it entered the body? No, it's trying to enter and you are preventing. The external barrier defenses are preventing it from penetrating the body. That is known as external barrier defense. So this is not a definition. So this is what is going to happen in external barrier defense. So just try to imagine, just try to have like a story. A bacteria is trying to enter the body. So first of all, you have this external barrier defense. It will be encountering the external barrier defense. And then what will happen? The external barrier defenses will be preventing the bacteria or pathogen from penetrating into the body. So it's trying to enter and you're blocking it. So gates are closed. So this is the first line of defense. So this is the first line of defense. This is the first type of defense a particular pathogen is going to encounter in your body. Okay. So then these external or barrier defense can be either physical or they can be chemical. Okay. Are they only physical? No. External or barrier defenses can be physical as well as chemical barriers, and they are found in 3 locations. So you have to remember these external or barrier defenses are found in how many locations? They are found in 3 locations. So what are the 3 locations? They are found in your skin, they are found in the mucous membrane, and they are found in secretions by various organs. So there will be secretions like so many secretions, for example, by glands like saliva, like tears. So there will be secretions from various organs. So in that also there will be external or barrier defense. In mucous membrane also there will be external or barrier defense, and it will be obviously present in your skin as well, since the skin is the outermost covering. Okay, so what did we learn? We started with innate immunity. We learned the definition. We saw that innate immunity is present in both vertebrates as well as invertebrates. Okay, then the 2 types of innate immunity are external or barrier defense and internal defense. Under external or barrier defense, what is going to happen? The pathogen is discouraged from penetrating the body. It can't enter the body at all. Okay, so is this the first line, second line, third line? This is the first line. So when the pathogen is trying to enter, the first response your immune system is going to give is through external or barrier defense. So are they only physical? No, they are physical as well as chemical barriers. And where are they found? They are found in the skin, they are found in the mucous membrane, and they are found in secretions by various organs or glands. Okay. Then let's learn one by one. So what are they doing in skin? What are they doing in mucous membrane? What are they doing in secretions by various organs? Let's see one by one how this innate immunity is going to work. Okay. So when you consider the skin you have you might have not learned already, but you might have an idea from the tissues. Under tissues you might have learned the epithelial tissues. The skin is a type of compound epithelium, right? It is a stratified squamous epithelium. So it will be having several layers or one layer. Is it single layered, or does it have several layers? It will have several layers. Skin will be having many layers. And will they be closely packed, loosely packed? How will they be? They are the outermost covering of your body. If they are loosely packed, everything can leak out and pathogens can easily happily enter. So you don't want that to happen. So these cells are closely packed. The skin will be having many layers. They are close. It consists of closely packed cells. And most importantly, the topmost layer will be having keratinized cells. So in the cell layer, the topmost part of the skin will be having cell layer consisting of keratin. So keratin is a type of protein. Okay, so you'll be learning the detailed structure of skin and all the components later in grade 13. Okay, so for now, just remember, skin is closely packed. So it will have several layers, one single layer, several layers. It is a stratified squamous epithelium. It will be having several layers, closely packed or loosely packed. Closely packed, of course, it should be closely packed. You don't want microorganisms to happily enter, right? So they are going to be closely packed, and they are going to contain keratin on top of them. Okay, and they will be present in the epidermis. All right. And one more important thing is the topmost layers. Okay, now this will be present in a basement membrane, right? So when you consider the apical surface, the topmost layer, there will be periodic shedding occurring. So you might have learned this in epithelium as well. There will be periodic shedding occurring. And when the periodic shedding are occurring, you know what will happen? So in these cells, so this is the topmost, this is the outermost layer. So it is exposed to the environment. Microorganisms can come and sit on them. So when there is periodic shedding occurring, these microorganisms will go along with the cells that are shed off. Okay, so what is happening? So on the skin surface, there will be microorganisms coming and sitting here. So there is something called as periodic shedding occurring in the skin. So that means the topmost layers, they are being sloughed off. So what will happen? So microorganisms are sitting on these topmost layers, and when there is periodic shedding occurring, these microorganisms will be removed along with the cells that are going away. Okay, and therefore the microorganisms can be removed from the skin surface. So this is acting as a significant physical barrier. That means now see, skin is your outermost layer. So this is like this should provide the utmost protection to your body. So this is providing a significant, what barrier? Is it physical or is it chemical? Is it secreting any chemicals in order to remove the microorganisms? No, this is just using its structure. It is providing a physical barrier. It's providing a barrier. So this is a physical barrier or chemical barrier. This is a physical barrier, and remember, this is providing a very important physical barrier. It is providing a significant physical barrier. Okay, so this is about skin. So skin is the first type of under innate immunity. This is the first type of external defense or barrier defense we are learning. So what is happening in skin? So how does skin look like? Skin will be having several layers of closely packed or loosely packed cells. It will be consisting of several layers of closely packed cells. And what does it have on top of it? It will be having a protein called as keratin. Okay, so this skin, it has a function of periodic shedding. So periodic shedding will be occurring in skin. So what will happen when microorganisms are present on top of the outermost layer of the skin surface? There will be periodic shedding of the cells which are present on the surface, and along with these cells, the microorganisms will also be going away when it is shedding off. Therefore, the microorganisms can be removed from the skin surface. So, is skin secreting any chemicals in order to get rid of the microorganisms? No, it's not secreting any chemicals. So then, how is it providing a barrier? It is providing a physical barrier. Because of its structure only, it is providing a barrier. So, is this an important or is this not important? Of course, this is very important because this is your outermost covering. And throughout your body, skin is acting as the outermost covering. So it is providing a significant physical barrier. Okay, so that's all about skin. Do you guys have any doubts up to now? Any doubts? Yes? No? Okay, then let's move on to the next one. The next external defense or barrier defense is going to be found in the mucous membrane. So this mucous membrane, it is going to line your body cavities. For example, let's say your nasal cavity. In the nasal cavity, you will be having the mucous membrane. And when you take your mouth, so wherever there is an opening to the external environment, you can find this mucous membrane. Okay. So what will this mucous membrane do? This mucous membrane is going to produce mucus. It's going to secrete mucus. It will be lining your body cavities, especially the openings in your body. When there are openings to the external environment, now skin there is no opening, and because of that, skin is going to provide an immune response. I mean, not immune response. It's going to provide a defense. But what if there are openings present in the skin? I mean, in the skin, if there are openings present, what will happen? So in the openings also, the entry of microorganisms, the entry of the foreign substances should be stopped, right? For that, you have something called as the mucous membrane. So it will be lining the body cavities. The openings in your body will be lined by the mucous membrane. So what will this mucous membrane do? The mucous membrane is going to produce mucus, and this mucus will be trapping the microbes and other particles. What will the mucous membrane do? It will produce mucus, and in that mucus, the microorganisms, the microbes, and other particles are going to get trapped. Okay. So when you consider the respiratory tract, throughout your respiratory tract, what do you have? You have the mucous membrane. There will be cilia present in your respiratory tract. Okay. So you'll have cilia, and you will be having the mucous membrane. Cilia will be present in the mucous membrane. So you call it as the ciliated epithelial cells. So where are the ciliated epithelial cells present? They are present in your respiratory tract. So above that, you will be having mucus, which will be secreted by the mucous membrane. So when a particular pathogen, when a particular foreign substance enters your respiratory tract, what will happen is the pathogen will be trapped by this mucus. First of all, what will happen? The pathogen will be trapped by the mucus. Okay. And then you will have this cilia, right? So this cilia, they are going to start beating. So this cilia will be beating upwards, and they will push this mucus upwards. The cilia, it will be beating upwards, and it will be sweeping the mucus upwards. But who is present in the mucus? In the mucus, you will be having the trapped particles. Trapped foreign substances, microorganisms will be trapped inside the mucus. So when the cilia is beating upwards, it is sweeping the mucus along with the trapped particles upwards, and therefore this is preventing the microorganisms and foreign agents from entering into your respiratory system. Okay, so this is what will be happening by mucous membrane. So mucous membrane is going to secrete mucus. This is going to trap whom? This is going to trap microorganisms and other particles. And especially when you take a look at the respiratory tract, you will be having ciliated epithelial cells. And on this ciliated epithelial cells, who will be present? Mucus will be covering this ciliated epithelial cell. So whenever the microorganisms enter, it will be trapped by the mucus, and this action of cilia, the beating of cilia, will be sweeping the mucus along with the trapped particles upwards. So it will finally exit from your oral cavity or from your nasal cavity. Okay, but this process, there is a way in order to speed up. There is a way in order to speed up this process, sweeping of the mucus upwards by the ciliated epithelial cells. There is a way to speed up. The speeding up can be done by coughing and sneezing. So when there is coughing and sneezing occurring, they will be speeding up this process of sweeping the mucus upwards by the cilia, and therefore the microorganisms will be prevented from entering the lungs. Okay, so this is what will happen inside the mucous membrane. So what will happen in the mucous membrane? First of all, where is this mucous membrane present? It is going to line the body cavity. So what will it do? It will be producing mucus. So mucus will be trapping the microorganisms and other particles. And then in the respiratory tract, especially, what do you have? You have ciliated epithelial cells. So what will these ciliated epithelial cells do? They will be having mucus on top of them, and when microorganisms, when foreign agents are present, trapped in this mucus, the cilia will be pushing them upwards, and finally they will be exiting from your body. The microorganisms will be exiting from your body, and this is how they will prevent the entry of microorganisms. So this entire process of sweeping the mucus upwards and the beating of cilia, this can be speeded up. How? When you are coughing and when you are sneezing, this process can be speeded up, and therefore the microorganisms will not be entering the lungs. So this is again, this mucous membrane, again, it is providing a physical barrier. Okay, it is providing a physical barrier against the entry of microorganisms and foreign agents. Okay, so that's all about mucous membrane. The second, external defense. Then let's move on to the secretions by organ. So the physical and chemical barriers are found in skin, in mucous membrane, and they are found in secretions by various organs. Now let's look at the secretions. First of all, let's take a look at the eyes. So in your eyes, you will be having what? You will be crying. So actually, let's imagine something gets into your eyes. So when something gets into your eyes, what will happen? There will be tears. Tears will start to form. No, so it is not only a reflex because of your emotions, but it is also a reflect of the microorganisms entering your body. Your eyes will start to tear up. Okay. So now see, tears, what will it do is this in these tears, the microorganism that is trying to enter will be diluted. And once they are diluted, this will be preventing them from settling on the eye surface. Okay. So see, first of all, in the eyes, when you look at the secretions in the eyes, the tear glands will secrete tears. Okay, and now see, what the tears will do is they will be diluting the microorganisms first of all, and then once they dilute them, they are preventing the microorganisms from settling on the eye surface, or else microorganisms can settle on the eye surface and they can colonize, right? So they are preventing the microorganisms from settling on the eye surface by diluting them, and then they will start to flow. What will start to flow? The tears will start to flow. So there will be a continuous washing out action. Okay, so now see, the microorganisms will be diluted by the tears, and then they will be prevented from settling on the eye surface. And then once the tears are flowing, there will be a continuous washing out action of these microorganisms, and finally these microorganisms can be eliminated. So this will be providing protection against two things. One, they will be providing protection against irritants, so there can be dust particles or something trying to enter your eyes. So those are irritants, so they can be considered, they can be providing a protection against irritants, and also they can be providing protection against microbes which are trying to enter your eyes. Okay, so now see, in your eyes, so this eyes can also directly provide a pathway in order to enter your internal body, right? So you should have a defense. You should have like an external defense in order to prevent that entry. So for that only there are secretions. So what is the secretion present? You will be having tears. Okay. So this tears is going to do what? They're going to dilute the microbes, and they're going to prevent settling on the eye surface. So there will be a continuous washing out action, and therefore they are going to provide protection against irritants and microbes. I'll be answering your doubt. Okay. I saw your doubt. I'll be answering them. So once I finish that, I'll answer. Fine. So this is present where? This is present in the eyes. And then take a look at your mouth. So in the mouth also you will be having what? You will be having saliva. So saliva will be secreted by your salivary glands present in your mouth. So what will happen here also? There will be a continuous washing out action. So see, this is exposed to the environment, and this can, the mouth, it can provide a direct access into your internal body. So again, there also you should have like a defense mechanism. You should have like a defense in order to prevent that entry. For that, you will be having saliva. So what will the saliva do? There will be flowing of saliva, which will be preventing the colonization of microbes, just like tears. So these tears will be flowing, and because of this, they will be providing a continuous washing out action, preventing the microbes from settling on the eye surface. So similarly, here also there will be a continuous washing out action, preventing the microbes from settling there and colonizing. So the flow of saliva is going to reduce the colonization of microbes. So this is the second secretion. So this is secreted by what? This is secreted by the salivary gland. Where is it present? It is present in your mouth. There will be a continuous washing out action, and the flow will be preventing the colonization of microbes. Okay. And then see, you have mucus secretions. Okay. So now see, we learned about mucus membrane here, and we are learning about mucus secretion here. So this mucus secretion, they can be present in various exposed epithelium. Okay. So exposed epithelium means now in your saliva also you will be having mucus, right? So that is again a secretion present in an exposed epithelium. So likewise, in various exposed epithelium, there can be mucus secretions. Okay. So remember, even though they have given mucous membrane providing a physical barrier, when you consider mucus secretion, mucous membrane, the membrane is providing a physical barrier. But when mucus is secreted and when the microbes are trapped inside them, they are providing a chemical barrier as well. Even though in the resource book they have given that the mucous membrane is going to line the body cavities and they're going to provide a physical barrier, the membrane is going to provide a physical barrier, the secretion, the mucus secretion by the membrane is going to provide a chemical barrier. Okay, now is your doubt clear? Fine. So the mucus, the secretion by the mucous membrane is going to provide a chemical barrier. So if we say mucus in general, it's going to provide a physical as well as a chemical barrier. Okay. So see, the mucus secretion, where is it present? They are present in various exposed epithelia. So there will be mucus secretions on the epithelia, and this will also be providing a continuous washing out action. A continuous washing out action will be provided. So just like saliva, just like tears, they are first of all going to dilute the microorganisms, and because of that, the colonization of microbes are going to reduce. How? They will be washed off. So the secretions, the mucus secretions are going to continuously wash off these microorganisms, and therefore the colonization of the microbes in these exposed epithelia are going to reduce. So what are the type of microbes which will be prevented by mucus secretions? Fungi and bacteria. So remember this, these are specifically given. So remember these, fungi and bacteria, the colonization of fungi and bacteria will be reduced by what? By mucus secretions. Okay. So this is the third external defense, I mean, under the secretions by organs, this is the third secretion. So first of all, tears. So tears, saliva, mucus secretion, all of them, they're basically going to dilute the microorganisms and they're going to wash them off. Okay, so just imagine it happening. Don't just think of it like words you have to memorize. So just imagine like it's happening, like you're going to like in the tears. So just imagine something gets into your eyes and your eyes become teary, and then the microorganisms are going to get diluted, and finally with the tears they're going to be washed off. See, the microorganisms are getting washed off in the tears. Similarly, in the saliva also you'll be having a lot of microorganisms. So the flow of saliva are basically going to remove these microorganisms from your mouth. In the mucus secretions, which are covering the various exposed epithelia, there will be microorganisms present. So because this mucus secretion are continuous, these microorganisms will be diluted and they will be washed off. So if they are settling, only if they settle, there will be colonization, right? So if there is a continuous washing out action, they can't colonize. So especially remember, under mucus secretions, colonization of fungi and bacteria are prevented. Okay, then you have gastric juice. So where do you have this gastric juice? Gastric juice is present in your stomach. So in your stomach only gastric juice will be secreted. So is this gastric juice acidic, basic, neutral? It will be acidic. You will be having H plus and Cl minus secreted, which will be ultimately forming HCl. So that is acidic. So the environment present inside your stomach because of this gastric juice is going to be an acidic environment. So what will it do? This acidic environment can destroy many bacteria and bacterial toxins. So, are they going to destroy fungi? They haven't mentioned that. So, remember, they are going to destroy bacteria and bacterial toxins. So, this bacteria and bacterial toxins cannot live in the acidic environment. So, in the secretion, in the gastric juice secretion, the secretion of gastric juice in your stomach is going to provide an acidic environment inside your stomach. And because of this, what will happen? Many bacteria and bacterial toxins can be destroyed. Okay, so where is this present? This is present inside the stomach. Then finally, you have sweat and sebum. So your sweat glands and sebaceous glands. So inside your skin, so if this is the skin, you will be having sweat glands and you will be having some sebaceous glands. Okay. So your sweat glands will be secreting sweat and the sebaceous glands are going to secrete sebum. So see, the ones I have drawn in blue is sweat and the ones I have drawn in yellow, the sebum is now like you will feel an oily texture in your skin. So usually if you go to school, like at the end of the day, if you touch your face, you will feel it's so oily. So that is because of the present secretion of sebum. Okay, sebum is a kind of like oily substance. So the reason why these are secreted on your skin surface is because they are preventing the growth of bacteria. So sweat, they are also having a thermal regulation also, but when you consider both of them together under immunity, they are preventing the growth of bacteria. So this is the function of sweat and sebum secreted on your skin. So they are basically providing an acidic environment. So whenever there is an acidic environment, who is affected? Bacteria are affected. Now see, in the stomach also, in the gastric juice, because of the secretion of gastric juice, acidic environment is created. So who is being affected? Here also, because of sweat and sebum on your skin surface, acidic environment is created. So who is basically affected? Bacteria are affected. So here bacteria and bacterial toxins are being destroyed. Here they will be preventing the growth of bacteria. So you know, bacteria, to grow them, in order for bacteria to grow, they should have a proper environment. They should have suitable environmental conditions and surface. So you are preventing this growth of bacteria by providing an acidic environment which is not favorable for bacteria to grow. Okay, so these are the external defense mechanisms. That's it. And remember, when you consider tears, saliva, mucus secretions. Who are they? Tears, saliva, mucus secretion. So if you remember, according to my order, the first three, and along with perspiration. So you will be having perspiration in your skin as well. So these four, tears, saliva, and perspiration, they will be having something called as lysozyme. So you maybe you can remember this from digestive system. So in digestive system, under oral cavity, you might have learned the components of saliva. So saliva will be having some lysozymes. Okay, so these lysozymes, they are destroying some bacterial cell walls. So the cell walls of the bacteria can be destroyed by these lysozymes. So is it all bacteria? Can all bacterial cell wall can be destroyed? No, not all bacterial cell wall. Remember, these words are quite important because they can confuse you in MCQs. So if they give you a statement saying lysozymes will destroy all bacterial cell wall, it is completely wrong. They only destroy the cell walls of some bacteria. Okay, they have specifically given that in your resource book, so don't get confused. So these are the external defense or barrier defenses in innate immunity. Okay, so I'll just revise once again. So revise with me, repeat after me. Okay, say with me. Then you will be easily able to remember it and you won't have to revise much when you finish the class. So what are the three, where are the three physical and chemical barriers found? What are the three locations? We will be having it in skin, you will be having it in mucous membrane, and it will be present in secretions by various organs. So in skin, so first of all, you should know the arrangement, you should know the structure of the skin. It has many layers or single layer. Can you guys answer so it will be more interactive? Send me in the chat, it's okay. So skin, does it have a single layer or many layers? Yes, it will be having many layers. Will it have closely packed cells or loosely packed cells? It will be made up of closely packed cells, and remember they will be having keratin. Okay, and they are present in the epidermis. Then they have a function called as what? Called as periodic shedding. So during periodic shedding, what will happen? The outermost cells will be sloughed off. So these cells, they will become, they will be more dried up, and they will be, finally they will be removed. So the cells which are below them, the layer which is below them will be replacing the layer which was above it. So when these cells are being sloughed off, what will happen is on the skin surface, there can be microorganisms present. So these microorganisms will also be removed along with these cells which are shed off. Okay. So what are they doing ultimately? They are removing the microorganisms from the skin surface. Is this a chemical barrier or physical barrier? This is providing a significant physical barrier. Okay. Then mucous membrane. So in mucous membrane, where is this mucous membrane present? They are lining the body cavity. So mucous membrane are present when they are at body cavity. So in body cavities, this mucous membrane will be lining them. And what will they do? They will be producing mucus, and this mucus will be trapping the microorganisms, microbes, and other particles. And especially when you consider the respiratory tract, there will be ciliated epithelial cells present. And when mucus is present on the ciliated epithelial cells, this mucus will be trapping the particles which they are encountering, and due to the beating of the cilia, what will happen? They will be sweeping the mucus upwards along with the trapped particles. And when there is coughing and sneezing occurring, they will be speeding up this process of removing the microorganisms along with the mucus. Okay, and therefore the microorganisms will be prevented from entering the lungs. So this mucous membrane, is mucous membrane a physical or chemical barrier? The membrane is a physical barrier. Later we'll be learning this mucus secretion. The mucus that is being secreted is going to act as a chemical barrier. Okay. Then secretion by organs, that is the third instance. So what are some secretions? Tears, saliva, mucus secretion, gastric juice, sweat, and sebum. So sweat glands will secrete sweat, sebaceous glands will secrete sebum. So basically, tears, saliva, mucus secretion, what are they going to do? They are going to secrete those. I mean, the tear gland will be secreting tears, salivary gland will be secreting saliva, and there will be mucus secreted. And all of them, basically, they will be diluting the microorganisms and they will be washing it away. So when you consider tears, they will be diluting the microorganisms, they will be preventing the microorganisms from settling on this eye surface, and there will be a continuous washing out action. Okay, so where is this present? This is present in your eyes. So what will it provide protection against? Irritants like dust particles and all. When dust particles enter your eyes also, you will be feeling teary, right? So this will be providing protection against irritants and microbes. What about saliva? There also you will be having a continuous washing out action, and because of the flow of saliva, the colonization of the microbes will be prevented. So if there is no settling, there will not be any colonization. So colonization will be reduced. So where is saliva present? In your mouth. Then mucus secretions, they will be lining various exposed epithelia. They also will be diluting the microorganisms, and they will be reducing the colonization of microbes. Who are those microbes? fungi, and bacteria specifically. There will be a continuous washing out action present in mucus secretions as well. Then gastric juice. So gastric juice, where will it be secreted? In your stomach. So is gastric juice acidic, basic, neutral? This is going to be providing an acidic environment. And what will it ultimately do? Acidic environment is something bacteria is scared of. So acidic environment created by the gastric juice will be destroying many bacteria, and also it will be destroying the bacterial toxins. And then finally you have the sebum or sebum and sweat, sebaceous gland secretion and sweat gland secretion. So where is this present? This is present on your skin, and what will they do? They will be preventing the growth of bacteria. So what is bacteria scared of? It is scared of acid. So this sebum and sweat will be creating an acidic environment to prevent the growth of bacteria. And remember these three: tears, saliva, mucus secretion, and also along with it perspiration. All will be having lysozymes. These are lysozymes, not lysosomes. So lysosome is an organelle. Lysozyme will be present, and they will be destroying some bacterial cell wall. Cell wall of some bacteria, okay, not all bacteria. These are external defenses or barrier defenses is in innate immunity. Did you guys understand? Do you have any doubts? So I hope I answered your doubt. Somebody asked me about that mucous membrane being a chemical barrier. I answered it out, I hope. How about the others? Everyone have understood? Shall we move on to internal defenses in innate immunity? Okay. Now let's move on to internal defenses in innate immunity. So now see, now the bacteria is happily coming. It has crossed the external barrier defense, and now it thinks, okay, I have crossed this, so I can anyway cross the others as well. But no, it doesn't know that there is a second line of defense as well. So it wasn't expecting that. So there is something called as internal defense. So if the bacteria surpasses these external or barrier defenses, it will be coming across this internal defense in the innate immunity. So this is known as the second line of defense. So this second line of immunity will be present in the internally. So this was the external barrier. Now it has come inside your body, and now it is going to face the second line of defense. So here you have four types of actually there are four types of internal defense mechanisms. Okay, so first of all, this can occur through phagocytic cells. So phagocytic cells will be now this bacteria, it can encounter now depending upon the type. Okay, now not only bacteria, now depending upon the type, there can be different cells that can come and they can attack. Now there can be phagocytic cell, which is a type of internal defense. So when this bacteria enters, it can encounter a phagocytic cell, or else it can encounter natural killer cells, or else there can be antimicrobial proteins, or else there can be some inflammatory responses. So when a pathogen enters inside the body, if it surpasses the external or barrier defense, so what are the internal defenses it can encounter? It can encounter the phagocytic cells. It can encounter the natural killer cells. It can encounter the antimicrobial proteins, or there can be some inflammatory responses occurring. So these are the four types of internal defenses. Repeat after me again. What are the four types? Phagocytic cells, natural killer cells, antimicrobial proteins, and inflammatory responses. Now let's look at one by one what these phagocytic cells are. Who are these phagocytic cells? What are they going to do? Who are these natural killer cells? What are they going to do? And so on. Okay, now see. These phagocytic cells, they are specialized cells. Okay, so they are specialized for phagocytosis. So there are mainly two types of phagocytic cells. One, neutrophils, so macrophages, and neutrophils. So both of them are WBCs. Okay, so who are the phagocytic cells? Phagocytic cells are specialized cells. So who are the two types of phagocytic cells? Neutrophils and macrophages. So don't get confused. We'll be learning so many types of cells hereafter. So don't get confused. So remember, phagocytic cells, you have neutrophils and macrophages. So what will these neutrophils do and what will these macrophages do? So neutrophils, they are the one who is going to get first attracted. Now there will be an infected site. That means when the bacteria is trying to enter, it has entered through a particular site, right? Through a particular site in your skin. It has surpassed the external defense, and now it has entered. If it has entered, this site is called the infected site. So to this infected site, to this infected site, the first type of cell that is going to get attracted are the neutrophils. Who are going to get first attracted? Neutrophils are going to get first attracted to the infected site. Okay. How are they going to get attracted? There will be signals sent by the infected site. Okay. There will be signals sent to these neutrophils by the infected sites, and from these infected sites there will be to these infected sites there will these neutrophils will be starting to come, and they will be ingesting these pathogens, and they will destroy these pathogens. So ingesting and destroying them. So what is that? That is known as phagocytosis. So neutrophils, you have the specialized cells who are involved in phagocytosis. Who are they? Neutrophils and macrophages. So what will these neutrophils do? They are the one who are going to first get attracted to the infected site by signals from the infected site, by signals from the affected tissue. They are the one who is going to first get attracted. Then what will these neutrophils do? When they see the bacteria, they are going to ingest them, they are going to eat them, they are going to take them inside their body, and they are going to destroy these pathogens inside them by digesting them. So this is phagocytosis. So see, let's look at the flow. So first of all, this particular neutrophil, it is going to ingest not only neutrophil or macrophages. Okay, both of them, what they will do is they will be ingesting the microbes. Okay, ingesting the microbe or the foreign particles. So remember, microbes and foreign particles, they are not the same. So they will be ingesting these microbes and foreign particles, and then what will happen? There will be intracellular digestion taking place. So inside this cell, inside the particular cell, either inside neutrophil or inside macrophage, there will be intracellular digestion taking place, and after that there will these pathogens or these microorganisms will be destroyed within the body. Okay, so now how are they going to detect these pathogens? Now let's just say there is a normal body cell here, and there is a bacterial cell here. Okay, so this particular neutrophil is coming, and it is trying to find out, so which one is the host cell, which one is the normal body cell, and which one is the bacterial cell. So just imagine, intracellular digestion means it is going to take that particular pathogen or foreign substance within it. So this is a cell, right? So neutrophil is a cell, macrophage is a cell. So these microorganisms will be taken within the cell, and inside the cell they will be digested and destroyed. That is known as intracellular. Intracellular means inside the cell. So they will be taking them inside the cell and they will be destroying them. Okay. So now see, as I was saying, let's say there is a normal body cell and there is a bacterial cell. So how will this particular neutrophil know which one to destroy? That is because this neutrophil and macrophages will be having receptor molecules in them. So receptor molecules are present. Receptor molecules will be present in where? In these neutrophils, in these phagocytic cells, there will be receptor molecules present. So what will these receptor molecules do? They will be detecting the components of the foreign agent. So now see, when there is a normal body cell, obviously they're not going to look like this bacterial cell or any other foreign particle, right? So they will be having some components. For example, in the bacteria, you will be having some components present in them. So these components will be detected by these receptor molecules present in the neutrophil. And once they detect them, they will know that this is not a normal body cell. This is the bacteria who invaded the infected site, and now we have to phagocyte it. So this is how they will be detecting them and they will be destroying them. Okay. And when you consider macrophages, so this was about neutrophils. So neutrophil was the one which was first attracting to the infected site. And they destroyed and they ingested and destroyed the pathogen. So this process is common for both neutrophil and macrophages. Okay. But when you consider macrophages, they are going to be much larger than the neutrophil. They're going to be much larger than the neutrophil, and they are more potent. So they are much larger and they are more potent for phagocytosis. So they can perform phagocytosis better than neutrophil. That is why they are said to be more potent and they are larger. Okay, so this is all about the phagocytic cell. So what did we learn? So what are the two types of phagocytic cells? So there are two types of phagocytic cells are neutrophils and macrophages. So who are neutrophils? Neutrophils will be attracted. They will be attracted to the infected site first. So who will be attracted to the infected site first? Neutrophils will be attracted to the infected sites first. But how will they know? They will be like roaming here and there inside your body. How will they know that they should be going to this particular site? Because there will be signals sent from the infected site, or there will be signals sent from the affected tissue, and then these neutrophils will be attracted. Okay, and then what will they do? They will be basically performing the phagocytosis. So they will be ingesting this particular foreign particle and they will be destroying them. Okay, and when you consider macrophages, they are going to be larger and they are going to be more potent. They are going to perform phagocytosis better than the neutrophils. Okay. So how is this process of phagocytosis going to occur in neutrophils as well as in macrophages? First of all, the microbes will be ingested. What will happen? The microbes will be ingested. And then what will happen? Microbes or foreign particles, whatever, they will be ingested. And then once they are taken in, there will be intercellular digestion, intracellular digestion and destruction. Intracellular digestion and destruction means this is a cell, right? Neutrophil is a cell. Macrophage is a cell. So the particular bacteria is taken within the cell and inside the cell they are digested and destroyed. That is known as intracellular. Inside the cell they are digested and destroyed. Okay. But how do they know? Won't they get confused between normal body cell and a bacterial cell? No, they won't be confused because these neutrophils and macrophages will be having receptor molecules, and these receptor molecules will be enabling them to detect the components of foreign agents. So the foreign agents, the bacteria, whatever the pathogen, they will be having some components. So those components will be detected by the receptor molecules and finally they will be phagocyting it. Okay, so this is all about phagocytic cells. Any doubts? Did you all understand? Yes. Okay. Now let's move on to the second type of internal defense. The second type of internal defense will be performed by natural killer cells. So natural killer cells are type of cells. They are the second type of cells which will be involving in internal defense and innate immunity. Now, who are these natural killer cells? So they are also type of WBC. So they are type of lymphocytes. So lymphocytes are also type of WBC. So you might not have studied these types of WBCs here in detail in resource book, but now see, neutrophils and macrophages, they are also type of WBC cells. And when you consider natural killer cells, they are also type of WBCs. So they are type of lymphocytes. Especially in WBCs, you have a class called lymphocytes. So these natural killer cells come under lymphocytes. So where are they going to be present? Okay. So natural killer cells, they will be present in blood. Okay. In your blood, these natural killer cells can be present, and also they can be present in some tissue organs. Tissue organs in your what do you call, the lymphatic system, the tissue organs also they can be present. So some lymph organs also they can be present. For example, they can be present in spleen and they can be present in lymph nodes. So who are natural killer cells? Natural killer cells are type of lymphocytes. So where are they present? They are present in blood, or they can be present in some tissue organs, not all, some tissue organs. So tissue organs means some organs of the lymphatic system. Okay. For example, they can be present in spleen or they can be present in lymph nodes. So this is the location. So these are the locations where natural killer cells will be present. Again, what are they? They are type of lymphocytes. Get that into your head. These are type of lymphocytes. Okay. So what will they do? So this is the natural killer cell. Okay, this is the spleen. They can be present in spleen and they can be present in lymph nodes. So what will they do? What they will do is, now see, when your normal body cell, when a particular normal body cell is being infected by another foreign agent, for example, let's say a normal body cell is being infected by a bacteria. So the shape, okay, the shape of that particular cell is going to change. The surface is going to change. Now, if this is the normal body cell, the shape, the surface of the normal body cell is going to change when it is being affected by, when it is being infected by a bacteria or foreign substance. So what these natural killer cells will be doing is they will be detecting the cells which have these abnormal surface. What will they do? They will be detecting the cells who have this abnormal surface, but they won't be engulfing them. They won't go and they won't eat them. What they will do is they will secrete chemicals. They will be starting to secrete chemicals, and these chemicals will be directly killing them. They won't eat them and they won't digest them. They will be secreting chemicals which will be directly killing them. Killing whom? They will be killing the virus infected cells and cancerous cells. So natural killer cells are present to kill whom? To kill the virus infected cells and cancerous cells, not bacteria, not anything else. So I shouldn't have said bacteria here, but because it's natural killer cells, so natural killer cells, they will be killing the cells which will be infected by the virus or the cells which will be cancerous. So then because of that, they will be inhibiting the further spread of virus or cancer. Now virus, they can spread. So if there is a virus infected cell, they can spread to the other normal body cells as well. So what these natural killer cells will do is, once they detect these virus infected cells, they will kill them so that they won't be able to spread to the other cells as well, so that the virus won't be able to spread to the other cells as well, and therefore the virus or the cancer is going to be inhibited. The spread of the virus or cancer is going to be ultimately inhibited. So this is what natural killer cells will be doing. So again, who are natural killer cells? Natural killer cells are type of lymphocytes. So please repeat with me, okay? Memorize it here itself. It's easy to understand. Just understand where they are present, what will they be doing, and ultimately who are they going to destroy, okay? So who are they? They are type of lymphocytes. Where are they present? They are present in blood and they are present in some tissue organs. Tissue organ means some the organs of the lymphatic system. So what are the examples? Spleen and lymph nodes. So these natural killer cells, they will be roaming in the blood and they can be present in the spleen and they can be present in the lymph nodes. Then what will they do? There will be cells which are virus, which are infected by virus, or there can be cells which have turned to be cancerous. So these cells, they won't be having a normal surface. So they will be having an abnormal surface. Okay, so the natural killer cells are going to detect the cells with these abnormal surface, but are they going to engulf them? Are they going to eat them? No, they won't be eating them. They will be secreting some chemicals, and these chemicals will be directly killing the virus infected cell or the cancerous cell. So remember the class of microorganisms which are going to be killed, okay? In natural killer cells, only virus infected cells and cancerous cells can be killed under natural killer cells. But when you consider the phagocytic cells, so in phagocytic cells, they will be fighting against all types of pathogens and foreign substances. But here it is going to be virus infected cells and cancerous cells. So ultimately, what are they doing? They are inhibiting the spread of virus or cancer. Yeah, they are inhibit the further spread of virus or cancer. Okay, so this is all about natural killer cells. Then let's look at the final topic for today, and that is antimicrobial proteins. Okay, so this is the third type of internal defense. So this antimicrobial proteins, so with the name you can understand, are they proteins, carbohydrate, lipids? Just kidding, they are proteins, okay? So antimicrobial proteins are obviously they are proteins. And where are they present? Again, where are they present? This is very important. So antimicrobial proteins are present in blood. So natural killer cells are also present in blood. And also antimicrobial proteins can be present in the interstitial fluid. So that means antimicrobial proteins are present in your body fluid. So blood and interstitial fluid is going to make up the majority of your body fluid, right? So basically these antimicrobial proteins, they are going to be present in your fluids, in your body fluids, such as blood and interstitial fluid. So what are they going to do? They either attack the microorganism, pathogen directly, or what they can do is they can impede in reproduction. They can impede in reproduction, they can interfere in reproduction and prevent them from reproducing, or else they can attack them directly and kill them. Okay. So there are two types of antimicrobial proteins. Now here we learn there are two types of phagocytic cells, right? But the function ultimately what they are gonna do is going to be same. Phagocytic cells, neutrophils, macrophages, but the function is going to be the same. But when you consider antimicrobial proteins, there are two types of antimicrobial proteins, and their functions are going to be different. Okay, so you have interferons, and you will be having complement proteins. Okay, so interferons are, so you will be having two types of antimicrobial proteins, namely interferons and complement proteins. So let's see what these interferons are going to do. Okay, so now see here also you will be having a virus infected cell. Who is this? This is a virus infected cell. That means a normal cell, a normal body cell has been infected by virus. Okay, the virus has crossed the external defense. It has entered your body and it has gone inside a normal body cell, that is known as a virus infected cell. So this virus infected cell, now see, you can see a virus present inside the cell, right? This is going to release interferons. So who are going to release interferons? Interferons, are they like normally present? No, they will be released by the virus infected cells. So these interferons will be released by the virus infected cell. And now see, now this is a normal body cell. So inside this normal body cell, there are a virus present. So beside this normal body cell, beside this cell which is being infected by virus, there will be other normal body cells also, right? There will be other normal body cells which are not infected. So once the virus infected cell release the interferons, these interferons will be diffusing into the neighboring uninfected cells. What will happen? They will be diffusing into neighboring uninfected body cells. Okay. Then what will happen is within that neighboring neighboring uninfected cells, antiviral proteins will be produced. So what will happen here? Virus infected cells. This is a normal body cell which has been infected by virus. So that will be releasing interferon. So this was a normal body cell before. So that means there might be other normal body cells which are surrounding it, right? And if this cell is infected, doesn't mean that all the other cells will also be infected. So there can be cells, neighboring uninfected cells, neighboring body cells which are not infected yet. So the virus infected cell is going to release interferons, and these interferons are going to go into those neighboring uninfected cells. And then within these uninfected cells, antiviral proteins will be produced. What will be produced? These interferons are going to go into the neighboring uninfected cells, and they are going to stimulate the production of antiviral proteins. And these antiviral proteins will be inhibiting the viral replication in neighboring cells. So they are inhibiting. So if this virus wants to spread to these body cells, that will be inhibited. Now see, these antiviral proteins, they are going and they are preventing the spread of this virus to other neighboring body cells. Because of that, the viral replication in the neighboring cells will be inhibited. Okay, and now see, now you have a problem. What is the problem? The problem is you have a virus infected cell. So do you need that cell anymore? Even though it was a normal body cell in your body, do you need that cell anymore? No, you don't require it, because now it has been destroyed. You see, the surface has been changed, it has been destroyed. So what should you do? You should kill this cell. So how can you kill it? You can activate some phagocytic cells. You can activate some macrophages, or you can activate some you can activate some macrophages. And because of these macrophages, what will happen? The phagocytic activity will be increased, the phagocytic activity will be enhanced, and finally this virus infected cell can be destroyed. Okay, so this is all about interferon. So what will be happening in antimicrobial protein? These are proteins. Where are they present? They are present in blood or interstitial fluid. So what can they do? They can either directly attack these pathogens, or they can impede in their replication, in their reproduction. So what are the two types of antimicrobial proteins? Interferons and complement proteins. So what are these interferons? The virus infected cells. Okay, when a normal body cell has been infected by virus, it is going to release interferons. These interferons will be diffusing into the neighboring uninfected cells. So remember it like a story, remember it like a flow. You will be easily able to recall. And then what will happen? Once these interferons go into uninfected cells, they will be stimulating the production of antiviral proteins. And then inside the uninfected cells, antiviral proteins will be produced. So antiviral means against virus. So these proteins, what they will do is they will be inhibiting the viral replication in neighboring cells. So now the virus cannot spread into the neighboring cell and it cannot be replicated. And the problem is there. Who is the problem? The problem is this person who has been infected with virus. You have to remove it. For that, what will happen? Some of these interferons will go and they will activate the macrophages, and the macrophages will be increasing the phagocytic activity by killing these virus infected cells. Okay, so this is all about interferons. Fine. Now let's move on to the last one, which is complement proteins. Complement proteins are another type of antimicrobial proteins. So where are they present? These complement proteins, they are present in the blood plasma and they are present in the plasma membrane of normal body cells. Where are they present? They are present in the blood plasma and they can be present in the plasma membrane of normal body cells. Okay, plasma membrane. Okay. Normally, are they active or inactive? Normally, these complement proteins, they are sleeping, they are inactive. But there can be different substances present in these pathogens, like in microbes. There can be different substances present on them, and these different substances, they can go and they can activate these complement proteins. These complement proteins, they can be activated by different substances present on the microbe surface. So now it is like it's nicely sleeping. Then what will happen? Microbe has crossed the external barrier defense and now it has entered into your body. And now the antimicrobial protein can smell that substance. It can smell a particular substance coming from a microbe. Then it can feel it. So once it smells that, it will be activated. So normally it is inactivated. Different substances on the microbe surface can activate them. And once they are activated, a cascade of biochemical reaction is going to take place. Cascade of biochemical reaction means there will be a series of biochemical reaction taking place. And finally, at the end of this biochemical reaction, the invaded now this particular pathogen is going to go and invade a particular cell, right? So that cell which has been invaded with that microorganism is going to be destroyed. Okay, it is going to undergo lysis. Lysis means it is going to be destroyed. So there will be lysis of the invaded cell. Now let's just say there is this particular microorganism. The microorganism has entered a particular cell. And what do you have on the plasma membrane of the cells? On the plasma membrane of the cells, you will be having this antimicrobial protein. Now, this antimicrobial protein is sleeping. And once this pathogen has entered that cell, this antimicrobial protein can smell some substances coming from this microbe surface. And now this will be activated and this entire cell will undergo some cascade of biochemical reactions which will finally lead to the lysis of the invaded cell. And also this will be promoting phagocytic activity to finally destroy this, finally phagocyte it. They will be having some phagocytic activity, and also there can be inflammatory response occurring. So in both interferons, so when you consider antimicrobial protein, ultimately they are going to induce a phagocytic activity in interferons as well as in complement protein. Phagocytic activity will be promoted, but inflammatory response is going to be promoted only in complement proteins. Okay, so yeah, this is all about antimicrobial proteins. So they are protein present in the blood or interstitial fluid. They can attack directly or impede in reproduction. And there are two types, namely interferons and complement proteins. So what are interferons going to do? They are going to be released by the virus infected cells. They are going to diffuse into the neighboring uninfected cells, and they will be stimulating the production of antiviral proteins. So what will these antiviral proteins do? They will be inhibiting the viral replication in neighboring cells. And some of them, what can they do? They should be destroying this problem. So they will be activating the macrophages to enhance the phagocytic activity. Who are complement proteins? Complement proteins are present in the blood plasma and plasma membrane of some cells. So they are normally active, but when there are different substances coming from the microbe surface, they can activate them, they can awaken them. And finally, there will be a cascade of biochemical reaction occurring, and the cell which has been invaded by these microorganisms will undergo lysis. They will be ultimately destroyed, and also these complement proteins will be enhancing the phagocytic activity and inflammatory response. Okay, so that's all about the Yeah, under the internal defense, I told you that we'll be learning only up to antimicrobial proteins today, because if I start inflammatory response, this is going to take a really long time, because inflammatory response is a whole big process and we have to learn it very thoroughly. So I don't want to rush it. So we have completed up to antimicrobial protein, and that's it for the day about theory. So did you guys understand? Do you guys have any doubts? Please let me know if you have doubts. You can drop a message to the host. Understood? No? Yes? Understood? Okay. So this is up to antimicrobial proteins. So I'm just rewinding. So we started off with the lesson. So I told you this is the entire basic idea of the lesson. We have completed the definition. We have completed the external barrier defense completely, and internal barrier defense we have completed up to antimicrobial protein. Okay, so I'll be sharing these slides in the group, so don't worry. So you can revise it quickly after the class. And yeah, these are more than enough for you to revise everything. I have included all the points from the resource book here. And yeah, this is a mind map. So like I was explaining in the last seminar also, I gave you a mind map for the day. So actually you are having like a huge mind map for today. So we have to go and revise all of this. And yeah, so shall we start an essay today? Shall we start an essay now? Are you all ready for an essay? You can look, I mean, you can go through it. You can write the essay. Try to write it as based on how much you can remember. If there are points that you can't remember, it's okay. You can go through them. But writing it on time right now, it's important because you have just finished learning it. So it's better if you can try writing it now based on what you have understood. Can you guys try? Shall I give you an essay? Yes. Okay. So since we haven't completed now, there was an essay in 2021 where they asked you to explain the entire innate immunity, but you won't be able to explain the entire innate immunity. You won't be able to attempt that question now because we haven't completed the inflammatory response. So in the scheme, there were points from inflammatory response also. So you won't be able to attempt that question. So just like we can write a short note on the external or barrier defense. Yeah, that would be good. Write a short note on external or barrier defense. So yeah, let's start it now. So I will be putting on the timer. So I guess 20 minutes is enough to write it. 20 minutes would be enough. So you have to explain the external or barrier defense in innate immunity. So you will have to explain about the skin, the mucous membrane, the secretions by organs, and yeah, you have to explain all of them. And yeah, all these points should be included in the essay. So shall we start? Because I don't think we'll be able to write about internal defense anyways, because we haven't completed inflammatory response. Okay, so let me start the timer. Mark. So first of all, please mark down the questions that you can try. So in the question queue 2020 A level, you can do the structured question. Briefly state what the interferons are. Okay, so mark it down. I'm showing you first. I have marked it down already. So I'm showing you, and then with me, you can mark it. So then move on to the FWC questions. The first question you can do, not a component of an external barrier defense. FWC grade 12 third term question you can do. Okay. I hope you guys are marking it. Then again, in the next page, the first question. So it is the second question of 2023 third term. Okay, the second question, inhuman. It's in the other page. Okay, then in the same page, which of the following statement is correct regarding defense mechanisms of human body? 2020 March, third term. This question you can do, the first one. I hope you guys are marking it. All right. Then in the next page, 2022 fifth term, the second question about natural killer cell. You can do that question. Okay. Then in the next page, no, you don't have any question in the next page. Then move on to the other page. The first two structured essay questions you can do. The defense mechanisms found as external barriers of innate immunity. 2020 July 2019 question and 2020 third term. The locations of natural killer cells of innate immunity. These two questions. Then come down, third term, 2022 third term, the about skin. In which ways the human skin is protecting against microorganism. Not the difference, the second one. Okay. Then in the next page, 2024 third term, the first question, it's about natural killer cell. So I want you all to mark it so that you can do it together. Okay, so I can give you some time so you can try them. 2024 third term, the cell type of natural killer cell. Then come down. In the same page, you have 2023 third term. The last two questions. I mean, the fifth question you can see here. Fifth question, A and B. Okay, it's about tissue and organ of natural killer cell, and it's about the two cells which can be destroyed by natural killer cells. So I want you all to do now with the timing, because you have learned it fresh and now you can understand. See, the questions are not hard. If you understand it clearly, if you can like have like a proper flow chart and mind map in order to understand everything, this is going to be a piece of cake. So you can try the questions and you will be able to understand how easy they are. Then come to the next page, 2021 batch fourth term, the first structured essay, the two locations of the complementary protein, mark it. Then in the same page, 2020 March, the two questions. Now, this is a short note about antimicrobial protein. You can send me after the class. I can correct it and send you back. So if you can WhatsApp it to me, I can correct and send it to you back. You can do this as a homework, okay? Short note for the antimicrobial protein. Then the outer defense barriers of innate immunity. So this also you have to do it. Then in the next page, 2024 fourth term, the first two questions, the types of barrier defense in innate immunity, and about the antimicrobial proteins. These two questions. All right. Then in the same page, the last one. In the 2022 batch 6th term paper, the two locations where antimicrobial proteins are found. Okay, this question. Then come down to the next page. You have fourth term 2023, these three questions. So in fourth term 2023, you can do all the three questions. Okay. I hope you all are marking. So if you missed anything, please let me know. All these three questions. Then come to the next page, Moratua papers. You can do the first question from 2019. You can do the MCQ. 2020, you can do the structured essay. The two cells which can be killed by natural killer cells. You can do that, mark that. And then come down in 2021, you have the types of antimicrobial protein. Now see, it's like I'm reading the same questions again and again, right? So they are repetitive. So this is all they can ask from these sections. They're not hard. Immunity is not hard. You have like a stereotype. Most people think immunity is hard because there are like so much of paragraphs to understand. So if you can classify them, have proper like mind maps, and these all of these are familiar to you. The only thing is you have to analyze them properly. So that's in your hands. So you have to use mind maps and flowcharts in order to understand them. So 2021, this question, the first structure is a question. Then come down to 2022, the first structure essay again. It is to explain how the mucous membranes are going to be functioning in the first line of defense. Then 2023, no. 2024, no. That's it. So these are the questions you have to attempt. So did you guys miss any questions? So I'll show you once again. So in this page, the first page, okay? So in the first page, you are having the 2020 A-level. 2020 A-level, only one question about interferons. Then in the second page, you don't have anything, okay? So from the past papers, you can do only the 2020 A-level about the interferon question. Then move on to the FWC. You can, in this page, you can do only the first question. The first MCQ, I hope you all are marking it. Then in the second page also, you can do the first question in the second page, and this question, the 2020 March question. Then again in the fifth term, the other page, fifth term 2022, the second question, second MCQ about natural killer cell. Then you don't have anything in that page. Then the other page, you don't have anything. Then in the structured essays, 2020 July 2019, this question, and then the 2020 third term question. Then in 2022 third term, the second structured question about skin. Then the next page, 2024 third term, first question. And 2023 third term, the last two questions about tissue or tissue organ and about the two cells destroyed by natural killer cells. Then in the other page, 2021 fourth term, the first structured essay question, and then the first question in the structured essay, and then 2020 to 2020 March, these two questions. And remember, this antimicrobial short note is a homework for you. Antimicrobial protein short note. Then come down again 2024 fourth term, these two questions, and then 2022 sixth term, the first question, the location of antimicrobial proteins. And then 2023 fourth term, all the three questions. And then in Moratua 2019 MCQ, 2020, the first one, the first structured question, the 2021, this question about the antimicrobial proteins, and then in 2022, finally, about the mucous membrane. Okay. So I hope you all have taken a note of this. So if you have any questions that you have missed, please let me know. So try these questions. I'll give you 15 minutes. So please try them and let me know once you're done. So it's 21. So it's it's 9:10 now. So about 9:10. So we'll resume around so around 9:25 we will resume and we will start the discussion. So I hope the time would be enough. I mean, most of these questions are repetitive, and you will be easily able to answer them. So after that, we can start discussing the questions. So please try them now. The first question that you can attempt is 2020 A-level question. Briefly state what interferons are. Okay, to answer this question, what are interferons? So interferons are antimicrobial proteins. Okay, first of all, you have to say that they are antimicrobial proteins, and who are secreting these interferons? They are secreted by the virus-infected body cells. So see, interferons, they are actually a type of antimicrobial proteins. So under antimicrobial proteins, you have two types of antimicrobial proteins. What are they? You have interferons, and you will be having the complement proteins. So both of them are forming the antimicrobial proteins. So interferons are antimicrobial proteins which will be secreted by the virus infected cells, and they will be protecting the uninfected host cells by interfering with the viral replication, or they will be diffusing into the neighboring cells, and they will be producing antiviral proteins in order to inhibit the viral replication. So if you have written that, your answer is correct. Okay, so that is what interferons are. Just write what you have studied. That's it. Then let's move on to the next question. So if you have any doubts, please ask me. Okay, please leave a message in the chat box, so I'll be looking at it. Then, not a component of an external barrier defense of innate immunity. Okay, HCl. Is that an external barrier defense? Yes, HCl is an external barrier defense. Where is it found? It is found in the stomach. Okay, then it is actually secretions from organs, right? Then skin. Yes, skin is also an external barrier defense. Human skin is considered to be an external or barrier defense. Interferon. Is interferon an external defense? No, interferon is not a barrier defense. It is an internal defense of innate immunity. So that is your answer. So what is your answer? Interferon should be your answer. Okay. Then mucous membrane. Let's just look at the other options as well. What about mucous membrane? Mucous membrane is also an external defense. Tear, yes, tear is a secretion, which is again an external defense. It is coming under secretions by various glands. So your answer should be interferons. Okay, so your answer is interferon because that is coming under internal defense. All right. Then next question. In human, some blood cells such as neutrophils are involved in adaptive immunity. Okay, neutrophil. Is that involved in adaptive? Neutrophil is a type of phagocytic cell. It is involving in where? It is involving in innate immunity. Okay, let's just look at the other options because you don't know about adaptive immunity, right? Okay. Interferons stimulate cells of immune system to produce antibodies. What do interferons do? Interferons will be diffusing into the uninfected cells, uninfected body cells, and what will they do? They will be producing antiviral proteins, and they will inhibit the viral replication among these neighboring cells. So are they responsible for producing antibodies? Did you learn anything like that? No. Mucus acts as a chemical barrier for invading microbes. Okay, this is the exact point what I was saying. So when I was teaching you, I told you mucous membrane is providing a physical barrier. Mucus, the secretion, is providing a chemical barrier. Okay, just to be sure, let's look at the other statements as well. Destruction of microbes due to inflammation is an example for adaptive immunity. Now, even though we haven't studied inflammatory response, did I tell you inflammatory response comes under adaptive immunity, or does it come under innate immunity? It comes under innate immunity, under internal defense. So that is wrong. That is not adaptive immunity. Natural killer cell, which is a type of lymphocyte, yes, up to here it's correct, are involved in acquired immunity. No, they're not involved in acquired or adaptive immunity. They are coming under internal defense of innate immunity. So what is your answer? Your answer is the third one. Okay, so your answer is going to be the third one. So see, mucus is a chemical barrier for invading microbes, but mucous membrane is a significant physical barrier. Then, which of the following statement is correct regarding the defense mechanisms of human body? Okay, against the defense mechanisms of human body. Phagocytes are not involved in inflammatory response. Okay, you don't know that yet. So let's just look at the other statements. Interferons are secreted by the phagocytic cells in blood. Interferons, are they secreted by the phagocytic cells in blood, or are they secreted by the virus infected cells? Virus infected cells will be secreting the interferon. So that is wrong. Then, complement proteins are present in the plasma membranes of the body cells. Complement proteins, are they present in the plasma membrane? Yes, they are inactive proteins and they can be present in the blood plasma, or they can be present in the plasma membrane. Then, inflammatory response is a type of barrier defense in innate immunity? No. Inflammatory response is a type of internal defense. Barrier defense, only skin, mucous membrane, and secretions of various glands. So, inflammatory response is an internal defense of innate immunity. When tissues are damaged, blood loss is in reduction due to constriction of blood vessels. Okay, that comes under this one, inflammatory response, but you can still answer because complement proteins are present in the plasma membrane of the body cells is correct. Okay, so others you can like figure it out once you finish the entire section. Inflammatory response also, once you complete it, you will be able to figure it out. Okay, then natural killer cells. Okay, produce interferons. Natural killer cells, do they produce interferons? No, virus infected body cells will be producing interferons. They are found in spleen. Yes, natural killer cells can be present in blood, and they can be present in some tissue or organs such as spleen and lymph nodes. This is correct. They engulf the virus infected body cells. Virus infected body cells is correct. They do something to the virus infected body cells as well as the cancerous cells. But do they engulf them? I specifically told you they do not engulf these abnormal cells. What they do is they will be releasing chemicals to kill these virus infected cells and cancerous cells. So that is wrong. They don't engulf. They destroy bacterial cell wall. What is the chemical substance I told you which will be destroying the bacterial cell wall? Lysozymes. Yeah, lysozymes will be involving in destruction of bacterial cell wall. Not all bacterial cell wall, some bacterial cell wall. It's not natural killer cell. Secrete antibodies, we didn't learn anything like that. So the answer is found in spleen. Okay, see how easy the questions are. Then the other question is, did I miss any question here? No. Then it's in this page. What are the defense mechanisms found as external barriers of innate immunity? So they have given you 3 lines. What are they expecting? Human skin, mucous membrane, and secretions of various glands. That's it. Give 2 locations where natural killer cells of innate immunity are found in the human body. So they're asking you 2 locations. You can say blood. You can say some tissues or organs such as spleen or lymph nodes. Spleen and lymph nodes. So see, they're asking you direct. I told you locations are important. So they are asking you direct questions. These are FWC questions. Okay, FWC paper questions. Then, in which ways the human skin, one of the barrier defenses, of course, protect from microorganisms? Yeah. So they have many layers of closely packed keratinized cell layers, and because of that, they will be providing a significant physical barrier. So just write everything what we have learned on the human skin. You have enough space, right? They have given you 4 lines. And then, yeah, they will be preventing the entrance of microorganisms, and there will be periodic shedding of the epidermal cells, and that will be allowing to remove the microbes from the skin surface. So you can write all those points. So what are the points you can write? They are made up of many layers of closely packed cells. They are keratinized cell layers, which will be providing a significant physical barrier to the entrance of microbes. And there is periodic shedding of epidermal cells, which will be helping to remove the microbes. Okay, so if you have written that, you're correct. So everything what we have studied, that's it. Then next question, name the cell type of the natural killer cell. So I told you like 3 or 4 times. Who are natural killer cells? They are type of lymphocytes. They are type of lymphocytes. Natural killer cells are lymphocytes, and they are participating in the innate immunity. So if you should write lymphocyte. Okay, then name one tissue and one organ where natural killer cell can be found in the human body. Tissue, you can write blood. So blood is a connective tissue. It's a tissue. You can write blood. And for organ, you can write spleen. Then indicate 2 cells that can be destroyed by natural killer cells. Come on, virus infected cells and cancerous cells. So virus infected cells and cancerous cells, will they be engulfed? No, they won't be engulfed. They will be releasing chemicals. The natural killer cells will be releasing chemicals to kill these virus infected cells and cancerous cells. Okay, then the next question. So the next question is indicate 2 locations where complement proteins of internal defense mechanism of innate immunity are found in human body. So where are complement proteins found? So complement proteins are type of antimicrobial proteins. And are they inactive or active? Normally they are inactive. Where can they be found? They can be found in the blood plasma. Okay, write blood plasma, don't just write blood. Write blood plasma, and they can be found in the plasma membranes of cells. Okay, then what are the outer defense barriers of innate immunity? This is so easy, right? What are the outer defense barriers? Skin, mucous membrane. Don't just write mucus, write mucous membrane, and secretions by various glands. In this question, short note of antimicrobial protein. Please do it as a homework, and you can send me. I will correct it for you. Okay, then mention the types of barrier defense in innate immunity. Mention the type of barrier defense. So you can write again the same question, right? Skin, the mucous membrane, and the secretions by various glands. Antimicrobial proteins are 2 types. What are they? Such an easy question. What are the 2 types of antimicrobial proteins? Interferons and complement proteins. All right. Next. Indicate 2 locations where the antimicrobial proteins are found as inactive state. So what are the 2 locations? Again, blood plasma and plasma membrane. That's it. So they are repeating the same questions again and again. So this is how they ask. Is this difficult? No, this is so easy. Just understand, study everything thoroughly using mind maps and flow charts, and everything is going to be really easy. See, these are the questions they frequently ask. Past paper, these are past paper questions. We are seeing FWC questions. Next, let's look at molecular questions as well. Okay, indicate the different types of barrier defenses in innate immunity. Again, we are asking the same question: skin, mucous membrane, and the secretions by various glands. Name the lymphocytic cell. Okay, earlier they asked you for the type of cell the natural killer cells were. They were lymphocytes, right? Now they are asking you which lymphocytic cell type participates in the innate immunity in man. So what is the lymphocytic cell type? That is natural killer cell. Okay. Then indicate the 2 types of antimicrobial substances and each of their exact location or locations. What are the 2 types of antimicrobial substances? Antimicrobial substances means they're talking about antimicrobial proteins. So what are the 2 types of antimicrobial substances? Interferons and complement proteins. So where are interferons present? They are present in virus infected body cells. Okay. And what about complement proteins? Complement proteins, you can say blood plasma or you can say plasma membrane. Okay. Don't write for both of them. Don't give the common one. Okay. Don't give the common one. Write separately where interferons are present. Now antimicrobial proteins, they are present in blood and interstitial fluids. That's what they have said in the introduction. But don't just write that. You know where interferons are present, right? You know interferons are present in the virus infected cells. So from virus infected cells only they will be released. So where are complement proteins present? Complement proteins, you know exactly they are present inactive in the blood plasma and plasma membranes. Okay, then the Moratua question. In human, the first line of defense against pathogens include activation of T helper cells. Did you learn anything like that in first line? So what is meant by first line? First line means they're talking about the barrier defense. So did you learn anything called T cells, helper T cells, or something in barrier defense? No, it won't be coming then. Presence of acid in stomach. Yes, the acid will be destroying the bacteria and bacteria, and it will be destroying some bacterial, what do you call that? It will be destroying many bacteria and bacterial toxins. Bacterial toxins which are ingested with the food, it will be destroyed by what? By acid, the acidic environment which is provided by the gastric juice. Then release of histamine from mast cells. So did you learn like that anything in the first line? No. Production of interferon from virus interferon cells. No, interferons are internal defense, and even release of histamine from mast cells, that is coming under inflammatory response, that is also coming under internal defense. Engulfing of phagocytic cells by neutrophils or macrophages, that is also coming under internal defense. And activation of T helper cells will be coming under adaptive immunity, okay, under acquired or adaptive immunity. So your answer is the second one. Then indicate two cells which are killed by natural killer cells. I don't know how many times we are encountering this question, right? It's virus infected cells and cancerous cells, the two cells which are killed by natural killer cells. So that is why I told you the exact one, the exact precise type you have to know. So in phagocytosis, when you learned about phagocytic cells, we learned that it's like something common. So they were saying that these phagocytic cells, they can detect components of foreign agents or foreign particles or pathogens. So they didn't specify, right? But when we were talking about natural killer cells, we were specifically said that they will be destroying virus infected cells and cancerous cells. So you have to remember those examples. Okay, then what are the types of antimicrobial proteins that involve in innate immunity? Again, what are the types of antimicrobial proteins? Interferons and complement proteins. Then finally, briefly explain how the mucous membrane, which line the body cavities, prevent the entry of microbes. 2020 Moratua question. So, how will the mucous membrane protect from the entry of microbes? So, they will be lining the body cavities and they will be giving, so they are talking about mucous membrane, okay? So, not mucus secretion. Mucous membrane will be providing a physical barrier to the entrance of many microbes. And they can produce mucus, which will be trapping the microbes and other particles. And also like in the you can talk about what is there in the respiratory tract as well. So there will be ciliated epithelial cells which will be sweeping the mucus upwards, and along with that the trapped material will also be sent out. So you can mention those three. It will be lining the body cavities, providing a physical barrier to the entrance of many microbes, and it will be trapping the microbes and other particles, and it will be producing mucus to trap the microbes and other particles and send them away from your body. And then in respiratory tract, you will be having ciliated epithelial cells which will be sweeping the mucus and the trapped particles out of your body. So these are the three points you have to write here. So that is 2020 Moratua question, and with that we have completed all the questions from innate immunity. Do you guys have any doubts in the questions? Any doubts? No doubts. Okay, so with that we are coming to the end of the seminar, immunity seminar. So yeah, so this was a free seminar, and yeah, so hopefully I'm thinking of continuing the lesson. So we will be doing continuing the inflammatory response, and we will be doing the adaptive immunity, and ultimately we will be completing this entire topic. Okay, so I hope you all got a good deal from this seminar. So please let me know your feedbacks, whether you have understood or how is the seminar. Did you enjoy it? Okay, and about the question and everything, questions, if you have any doubts, please let me know. And that antimicrobial protein, the short note, that's the homework. So if you can send me in WhatsApp, I can correct and send it to you back. So yeah, that's it for today. So have a nice day.